Presenting for Techturized, please welcome to the stage Candace Mitchell and also their mentor, Tristan Walker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Candace Mitchell, co-founder and CEO of Techturized, and today I'm presenting to you the Myavana mobile app, and our vision is to enable hair personalization capabilities for every female consumer around the world. So the problem that we're tackling is that Black women have the greatest hair texture variety out of any ethnicity in the world. Everything from short bobs, curly hair, to long weaves and extensions for those who secretly want to be Beyonce. We all have different needs and wants. However, the hair industry still only provides one-size-fits-all solution. And the fact of the matter is that every product does not work the same for every consumer. And I can personally relate to that. A few years ago, I chemically straightened my hair, added some color, curls, and some heat, and guess what? My hair broke completely off. I was horrified. I called my friends, my family, and asked them, has this ever happened to you? You know, what should I do? And they started to tell me the same problems that they were experiencing. And then I thought to myself, someone needs to do something about this. So I looked into the market and discovered that $10.2 billion are spent every year on hair products alone. But the kicker is that 33% of sales are driven by only 6% of the US population. Now, who's buying all of these hair products? Black women. That shows you a lot about priorities, people. They're willing to spend their last dollar to make sure that their hair looks good. Yes. But the issue is that this market is still broken. If at the end of the day, the consumer does not know what product is right for her hair and doesn't have a community to guide her along this process, then she's left paralyzed, and someone needs to bring her to life. And that's where we come in. We've created our solution, the Myavana mobile app. It's the first and only place where women can discover hairstyles, products, and local stylists in their area. This slide shows you where we are now. We're slowly building our community by word of mouth, and it also shows how we're making money. So hair care brands can advertise in our app now that Facebook has totally changed the game. And also, we are providing consumer data to these hair companies because women are talking about what products they need and what they need for their hair. Next, we'll move to product reviews and introduce some commerce options. And ultimately, we will provide personal recommendations for women. So what's happening in our app? Women are spending 15 minutes a day in our app. And that's in comparison to the market standard right now, which is only 1 minute. So that's tremendous engagement. So let's see what all the fuss is about. Here's our demo. You'll see that women are posting photos about their hair. This one in particular, she talks about she just moved to a new place, got a new job, and engaged all in 1 week. And she needed a hairstyle to match her lifestyle. So we're capturing key life happenings which motivate why women change their hair so much. Then you'll see our most frequent posters posting selfies all day. These are our early adopters, the natural hair community. And then you'll see fashionable hairstyles that inspire others, other users on the next hairstyle to try. Next, we'll drop into our product listing. So the natural thing that's happening is they're looking for products. You'll see brands as big as Pantene, but also smaller brands that are not accessible in your local retail store. There's an access issue when it comes to finding the right products, but it produces a really good opportunity for us to introduce commerce through our app. Next, we'll jump into the stylist listing. If I'm having a terrible hair day that only a professional can fix, I can go into the app, find a stylist in my local area. It pulls stylists registered within a 50-mile radius of my location. So I can see styles that they've done, and if I'm confident in their services, then I'll contact them for an appointment. Lastly, we'll jump into my profile. So I have 71 hairstyles uploaded, and it's only halfway through the year. So that just shows you how much we change our hair. The magical thing about this is that we're capturing some key data behind every media image, as well as the profiles. So we'll be able to recommend your next hairstyle and also the products and services that will help you ultimately achieve that. So we're very excited about what we've built, and we're ready to take things to the next level. I mean, we're the perfect team to do that. I am a computer scientist from Georgia Tech. I met my co-founder at Georgia Tech as well. She's a chemical engineer. So not only are we a hell of an engineer, but we know a hell of a lot about hair. And we are going to transform the hair industry, and we're currently based in Atlanta, Georgia. At this point, I would love to take your questions, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow. So, yeah, everyone else is screwed. I mean, that was, by the way, not only perfect, but by the way, perfectly on time. That was incredible.
Yes.
So, Ben, drive the judges.
Okay, well, Kevin, I think you are squarely in the demo. Let's get started with you.
This is something that keeps me up at night. You'd like me to ask a question, I see, Ben. Congratulations, that's great. Are you, do you have relationships yet with the vendors that you've talked about? So you've mentioned Pantene and Procter & Gamble, obviously, and you know, there's several companies that could make up a huge, significant portion of both your inventory and potential revenue. And have you started having those conversations yet, or are you waiting to kind of build up the user base first?
Yes, we have a few relationships made already. We started about 2 years ago. So we spent a lot of time in the market getting to know all the different companies and what their needs are. So companies as big as L'Oreal, and also companies who make their own products in their homes and they're selling them online. So we spent a lot of time forming those relationships. So now we think it's the right time to start leveraging that.
Shervin has a question.
So I think this is great, and we're investors in Tristan's company, Bevel, and I've kind of done a deep dive into this space. So I think there's a massive potential here. So you're onto something. The question I have is, the quality of the products that are out there are really not that great, and not that I personally wear it myself, but you know, what I want to know is, are you going to come out with your own products as well? Is that part of the vision, the roadmap?
So right now we are focused on bringing the products that are out there, the best products, to our consumers. But perhaps maybe in the future, after we've analyzed our market, we know what they want, we know what they're requesting, then we can use our resources and our expertise to create products that will be suitable for all women. So yes.
Right, and to add on to that, companies are currently coming to us to use data to form their next product line. So we have a relationship with a hair weave manufacturer based out in Japan that makes a lot of the weave-in extensions that are available in the beauty supply stores here in the US. So we just did a project, closed a project with them and working on a quarterly deal where we're providing them those data points. But we're also able to leverage that ourselves, because at some point we know the chemical composition that will give every unique woman the style and health that she needs, and that might be something that we can turn into a product line.
So Eric Moore?
Yeah, so I absolutely love this market because it's huge. So much so that I've invested in 2 companies that are doing almost exactly that. In that one company is called Maven, and they're doing products online, and the other one is called StyleSeat, which is attacking the stylist side of it. How do you differ from those 2 companies that I've invested in? So I love the market.
Right. We differ because we focus solely on the consumer. So StyleSeat focuses on the stylist, helping them book more clients. And Maven focuses on the salons, empowering them to have their own retail. And so we're coming at it from the consumer angle, because at the end of the day, the consumer drives the dollar that goes around in the industry. And so if we can meet her needs, then we might be able to recommend, okay, you should have this service, you know, go to this stylist. There are a lot of partnership opportunities with both of those companies. And so it's, we are different, but there's also some things that we can work together on as well.
I mean, I could say this as the products company, kind of the data that they can actually get from hair type to location, among other things, like it's something that I'd personally be willing to pay for, to the extent that we start to get into the hair care products game as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
So congratulations, first of all, it's exciting. You're in the second place in your company. You're consumer driven. How have you got customers to adopt the app? And it seems like with some of the other models that
where it's salon-based, it's easier to spread the word. This is sort of individuals.
Right.
Yes, so right now we do all the major hair shows. So if you're not familiar with Atlanta, it's the black hair care capital of the world. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people flock to Atlanta every year. There's like a hair show every other month. And of course, who's gonna be there? We are. So we talk to every single woman that we get our hands on one-on-one, we always exhibit. That's how we've grown our community these past couple of years. So in addition to attending hair shows, there are hair meetups. There's so much going around the conversation around the topic of hair that we are going to where the women are.
Zach, Kirsten and Zach both had questions.
Hey,
Sorry. I saw Zach first.
Sorry.
But I feel like Kirsten probably has a better question. No offense,
Probably,
Zach.
yeah. I don't know anything about
Zach
hair.
is invested in one of my companies and in Pando, but I still think Kirsten probably has a better question.
And I know nothing about hair, clearly, by looking at my hair. My question is, I get the community aspect of what you're building and the sort of I don't want to distill hair down to a recipe, but when I see, like, this is a style, I want to know how to I want to know how to have that style. Like, I like that dish, I want to know how to make it, right? So how are you connecting the dots between the style that I think is really cool that my friend posted a selfie of, and and actually getting that style into the products and the stylists and so forth that I need?
Right, and so part of that comes with a lot of data gathering, so we encourage users to post a lot of photos, but also in their user profile, we've already identified the top 10 things that we need to know about every woman in order to match that with the products currently on the market. So that's something that we've developed. It's our intellectual property, and with the combination of my background as a computer scientist and Chanel's as a chemical engineer, we're creating a very, very unique way to be able to do that.
All right, so Kirsten, it's the last question, but I want to give you time, so we'll give you an extra few seconds, but last question. If it's not talking to, yeah.
Sorry. I love that you are thinking with a big vision and have a lot of different, seeming really relevant things going on in the app. At the same time, thinking about starting a company where you have an objective to build a community, you want to have a commerce element, you're thinking about having a data feed, you're thinking about pulling in the stylist. It's a lot of things to tackle. Right. So how are you thinking about what are the things that are the most important to delivering a great customer experience early on and prioritizing those different lanes of business?
Right. I think ultimately the most thing that we should focus on are the recommendations. That's what's going to allow us to drive that lifetime value of our user. So she'll keep coming back to the app because we're telling her what to do next. And so that's kind of the hook. And so we're building a path to be able to build that. So everything that we're doing that's ultimately focused on that end goal. And so right now, user acquisition is very, very important, but also the current community that we have now is very valuable. And so everything kind of leads up to building that hair plan where, women can't live without us because they want to make sure that their hair looks good for everything that they have to do out in the world.
Okay, that's out of time. Give a huge round of applause for Techturized.
Good job.
Thank you.